Hello everyone, it is Ernest Show back again with another video, and of course today I'm watching the death battle of Buffy the Vampire Slayer versus Blade. I have too many nicknames and alias the Vampire Hunter, I guess. What you would call him. He's got too many names. I literally just had to come up with that off the top of my head. But currently I would have to say I'm more rooting for that of Blade, not only because I'm more of a Marvel fan, but from what I have heard, she does have some counters to some things that he can do, even comic-wise. But even then, I cannot say that I 100% see her getting through this. But I could be wrong. If I'm not, Art, you really have to choose these death battles better, like the only ones you think that are gonna win, because your loss streak is pretty huge.
Buttons are set, and we've run the data through all possibilities.
It's time for a live-action death battle!
Live action, though, is weird, because I don't think I've ever seen them do something like that. Have they? They have. It's been forever. So they're coming up with like a whole story to like get this to work. I'm kind of curious on how Blade is gonna come into this then. Oh,
We were kings long before they
that gun
had
was
made
nice.
kings. But now, starved, hunted, forgotten. You have waited long enough. Tonight, we remember who we were. Tonight, we take back what was always ours. Tonight.
Like, this is genuinely great exposition and stuff. It's so different.
And she. That's just the start.
That is sick. It's kind of hard for me to see, though, a reason why these two would actually fight. Unless, you know, the misconception of, you know, each other being there amongst it all. But even then, I could probably still see it because I don't think Buffy has a way of actually sensing who's a vampire and who's not. But I know that Blade would know that she's not a vampire. In a sense, you know what I mean. Like, this feels more like a kill count than a death battle so far. But seeing these two work together in this sense is just amazing. I'm sorry, bro just accepted death. Bro just said okay. Oh. Oh no. It looks so sick.
Wait!
Reaction. reaction time.
Just a kid.
Not anymore.
Oh yeah, they had to show the teeth. Yeah, that'll probably be the misconception. The thing though here is, I only see one way that Buffy wins in a sense like this, and it's with her strongest weapon. But even outside of that, I'm unsure if it would be a definitive win in this case. Also, she has no one to like have like as backup, which in most of the cases, not all, but most of the cases, she does have to rely on others. Sorry, that's quality.
You out your damn mind?
That kick is so smooth. I do believe that his super strength overpowers hers by a lot. Ugh. I don't know all the styles of fighting he has though, so she might have him overpowered in there. Then again, his experience is amazing. Ooh.
Amateur hour. There's always some motherfucker trying to ice skate uphill.
I can't even be like, why would that work? Because in reality, I do know. Ah, yeah. The only way I see it, being possible for him to lose. Ooh. Oh! I think the only correct way.
I see you cut through Atlantean.
Bring it on.
Oh god. The Hulk feat of that weapon though is why it is so amazing in strength. Also, I'm glad they went with live action. I think it's the only way I could have seen this working. Using style of live. Yep. He's gonna lose. Isn't he? Dang. I didn't even hear the dogs barking back there.
Looks like you got ahead of yourself.
They had a way better joke they could have used.
Continued no longer. I'm surprised. I figured with Blade's many years of comic book history, he'd have the edge.
Believe it or not, Buffy is actually in more comics than Blade.
Really? Man, Blade can't catch a break.
Let's break this down into 4 categories. First up, stats. Buffy's lifted much heavier things and survived more significant explosions.
Like, sure, Blade's strong and all, but he isn't literally fucking buildings apart like Buffy.
Scaling to the monsters they fought, compare Dracula creating a storm that covered Boston to the Sorrow Demon creating a storm that covered Los Angeles, a city over 5 times larger. You might be able to compare Blade to Spider-Man like Miles, who absorbed a bomb that could blow up Harlem, but that's significantly weaker than Whistler containing a blast that could wipe out London. They could both dodge light beams, but that doesn't keep Buffy from taking the overall edge in stats.
Blade's used to being the odd man out though, so his versatility is just as important.
With Blade's numerous powers and massive arsenal, he certainly could have overwhelmed the more straightforward Buffy.
Machine guns and magic swords are generally gonna beat out crossbows and morning stars. Not to mention, he actually wears armor.
Also, Blade's faster healing factor and immunity to traditional vampire weaknesses kept Buffy on the back foot for a time. Blade wins versatility.
But when it comes to skill, Buffy's got plenty of experience fighting armed opponents barehanded.
Both of them were masters of a similar number of martial arts.
And Blade has been kicking vampire ass for a century, way longer than Buffy's even been alive.
While Blade may have more personal experience, Buffy's ability to draw on Slayer battles dating back to the Stone Age, at least 40 times older than Blade, gives her the superior skill. Even then, they both had weapons and abilities so powerful they could end the fight instantly, regardless of all else.
They're trump cards. Fortunately for Buffy, she actually countered almost all of what Blade could throw at her.
Withstanding Blade draining her energy with his bite? Check.
Resisting the Hellfire shotgun destroying her soul? Check.
Preventing Blade turning to mist and exploding
I'm sorry, did I miss
her
something?
from
I
the
don't
inside
recall
out?
him
Check.
biting her.
Meanwhile, Blade had
Unless,
no way to survive,
I don't know.
save Buffy's Gorgon venom turning him to stone.
And even with the deadly, it just plain gross breathing gun, Blade did not have anything as potent as the Slayer Sight. It could easily deflect the breathing gun's bullets back at him, or use its space-cutting ability to slice through his unbreakable adamantium sword.
Don't believe us? Even Wolverine's adamantium skeleton was cut in half when a portal closed on top of him. That's the same kind of thing.
And Wolverine's beta adamantium skeleton is a much tougher version of the same metal.
Oh, and since the Scythe could kill Silas, a multiverse devouring god, I think it could take down Blade with a big enough swing.
Giving Buffy the final advantage over the Daywalker.
Really thought Blade had a chance, but Buffy sure put a damn fear on things.
The winner is Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
So, my whole thing though is that normally the actual death battle, I dislike how they are so inconsistent with what and how they scale. Because, for example, well, yes, it's like, oh, they're using like obvious things like, you know, the explosion of Brooklyn and stuff like that. But using that interdimensional like feat is kind of more like a sense of like, for example, how it's like able to make portals. While I can understand it, and while I said like that could be a way that they lose, the only thing that I disliked was because normally they'll go into like the cosmology of and like try to represent on why that's possible. But for this one, they did not actually do that. Instead, they kind of just only went by the fact that it was a portal, like in general, that had done its Wolverine, so it should be able to do the same to Blade's weapon. Which, you know, I could understand if it was more of a consistent way of them scaling things like that. But it's my only real downside about it.
Next time on Death Battle.
Subscribe and join as a member to see more Death Battle.
Okay, I'm not allowed to watch the next one. I have too much of a biased opinion on this one with Dante. He is literally one of my favorite characters growing up. That kind of feels cheese for like me to choose on. Anyways, I'm gonna end this video now because the dog's just gonna keep barking, and if I try to adjust the mic to a point where he's not going to be heard, it's literally just going to make sure I can't be heard either, like it did in a previous video. So unfortunately, that is all the time I have for this moment. And if you want to see more content like this, do let me know down below. Let me know who you were rooting for, and if they won, if you like were expecting this, or if you were expecting an entirely different outcome. And as always, I will see all of you in the next video.
Make this puppet proud.